Well, all right! Welcome back to As It Should Be. Paul Bertolino here in the world-famous As It Should Be Studios. Crystal Durant in the world-famous As It Should Be Studios.
Hello.
Tommy Von Voigt in the world-famous As It Should Be Studios.
Squee!
Yeah,
Squee.
He's excited because it's 1979. We're feeling fine.
yeah.
And we're going to be discussing our favorite live albums of the year.
Live.
Don't you just know it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do know it, actually. I'm pretty... I'm fairly certain, at least.
All right.
And I think I start, right?
You start.
Well, go for what you
I am
know.
starting.
I get the last word.
Ow!
Yeah.
And I don't think I've opened up my list yet. Here we go. All right. Okay. All right. Well, I have a couple of mentions. Well, honorable mentions. Well, one I guess it's just a mention. Neil Young Live Rust. Just a mention. I like Neil Young. I don't love that live album, but I like Neil Young. So there you go. But the actual honorable mention is the Rose soundtrack.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. That totally
Yeah.
would have counted too.
It's that can get past you because
Shit.
it's a soundtrack album.
Yeah, but okay, I fucked up. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. And honestly, I mean, I already discussed this one because I actually had it on my, I think I had it on my list for albums of the year for 79 too. I mean, I remember when that movie came out and my Aunt Vivian took me to that movie, and I mean, that had to have been around, what, November 79? I'm trying to think of exactly when that came out. But it's funny when you watch that movie, it's really dark, and I just imagine maybe as a 9-year-old kid just watching this going, wow. Like, this is what it's like to be a rock star, you know what I mean? And I just loved that movie so much. And my mom had the record because she had borrowed it from a friend who had just bought it. We talked about this
Remember
already.
the story?
Yeah.
And then just never
And she
returned
never
it.
gave it back. In fact, I believe I still have that copy of that album in the world famous As Should Be archives.
Oh.
The friend that it was borrowed from, is she still with us?
I don't even know who it was.
Because if she is, you can never return it. You can never return it. It can never be returned.
Never go back.
Nope.
But anyway, all right. Well, I have top 5. I have 5. And my number 5 is actually an EP, but still makes my list. Kate Bush, On Stage. Yeah. It's a whole lot of silence going on. Yeah, nobody likes Kate Bush.
No, I
Except
like
me.
Kate
it's not
Bush. It's not that at
No.
all. I like Kate Bush.
Oh,
Just
yeah, sure.
didn't make my list.
Yeah.
Oh, now you guys like her, now that I mentioned it.
What?
No, I'm kidding.
This fucking guy.
I'm completely kidding. I'm trolling
You
these
see
guys.
what we deal with? Do you see what we put
Trolling.
up with? We are so put upon, I swear.
Put upon.
No, but seriously,
Indeed,
okay, so this
truly.
is 79. This is around the time of her second album when it came out, and she only toured at that time, and then she just completely stopped. I mean, she has done live shows. I think she did some in recent, like maybe about 5 years ago or so.
Yeah, 5 or 6 years
But
ago.
by and large, she has never been a live performer.
No.
And
Too nervous.
too nervous.
Too nervous.
Well, also she's a perfectionist. I mean, she do these productions that are just like,
Insane.
more than almost anybody could possibly fucking handle, and she's the one doing it all. Like, she's basically the one who's in charge of it all, and it has to be
Yeah.
perfect, and it's just like, yeah.
You can't truck that show around.
Yeah, and you can't truck it
You
around.
can't
She
truck that
certainly
shit
never
around.
brought it here.
Yeah, because
Well,
not then. But at one point, I thought maybe she would. I thought maybe she would do like, 10 days in New York and 10 days in LA, and like at least
little
so you don't have to
residencies,
really
yeah.
truck it
Right.
around.
Well, and
But she
it
didn't.
would have been worth it for her financially because those
yeah.
shows would have sold out.
Out instantly. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
She could play a month at Madison Square Garden today. and
Yeah.
sell it out.
Actually, you're probably right. She
Are you-
probably could.
She absolutely
Yeah.
could.
Point, yeah.
Especially now with all these young
Actually-
kids because of the show, knowing that one goddamn song.
Yep.
Could. She would have to play a
It
month.
was- yeah, she'd have to. Yeah,
But anyway, and she has a new album pending, I believe.
correct.
So, but yeah, so Kate Bush on stage. Number 4, UFO with Strangers in the Night. Now, this is one of those albums that is always name-checked. When people talk about live albums, this is always on the short list of ones. I mean, some people consider this the greatest live album. And I don't love it that much because I'm not that much of a UFO fan. But it is good. I mean, when I listen to this, I'm like, oh yeah, I understand why people like this. UFO to me is a little generic. You know what I mean? I kind of feel like they should change their name to Rock Band.
Oh.
You know, there's something about them. I don't know why, and I don't mean they're not bad in any way. I just there's something about them that I can't. It doesn't.
I understand exactly what
You
you're
know what I'm
saying. I feel
saying?
the exact same way. They're a really good band.
Like they're a good rock band.
They're a good rock
but-
band, but nothing has jumped out at me. I couldn't name one UFO song right now with a gun to my head. No joke. I could not name one. But I know when I heard them on the radio, Tommy's face, when I heard them on the radio, and I was like, oh, fuck yeah, this is a really great song. I saw them at some point in concert, whether they were opening for somebody else, and I was like, oh yeah, these guys are really good. But I'm just like, okay. But nothing
Yeah, I don't,
was
and
really,
I can't put my finger on what it is
Yeah.
that's not
Singing is
there
good,
that
the
keeps
songs
it
were
from
good, just
being on that level that you would put Aerosmith or Thin Lizzy or you know what I mean,
Yeah.
any of these other bands. I can't even. Yeah, I can't even say
And
what
this
it is.
and this is not a diss.
No, it's not,
It's
Yeah,
just-
I don't think they're bad in the least.
Yeah, it's just this is just
There's
how
just
it
no
is.
above and beyond for me.
Yeah.
There's nothing that I can sink my teeth into that's just like it's like, oh shit, yeah, oh got it, yeah.
I will actually even agree with the two of you to a degree. There is a degree to which UFO is a bit faceless.
Yeah.
Because there's no one particular hot guy. There's no one particular musician. Nobody's. No, wait.
Well, there is a particular musician, but yeah.
Well, I mean, there is, but it's like, can I name everybody in the band right now? Absolutely not.
The casual fan, no.
And that's what I am.
Okay, yes. But I will say, okay, all right. I will say two things in the defense of UFO. Okay? First of all, the Lights Out record from 1977. And the other thing I will say, Michael fucking Schenker.
Yeah.
Now, move
that's
on.
the guy, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. But I put it on my list because I listened to him like, this is good. I understand why people like it.
Yeah.
You know? But it's that I feel like there's a lack of the X factor.
That's it. X Factor.
There is a lack of the X factor.
'Cause Schenker,
That's what it is. I think I only just now came up with this.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you
as
know-
great as Schenker is, he doesn't really have the X Factor either. And I'm talking about the machine of the business. You know, like.
It depends on what market you're in, actually, I will say. Having been to Tokyo recently, they still revere Michael Schenker. I mean, we were in Tower Records on the 8th floor, and they had like a whole fucking display of like a
just
tribute to Michael Schenker.
Schenker.
Wow.
Like, just in Tower Records by near like current music.
Just generally speaking, not because he had a new thing. that they
No,
were
just like it
promoting.
was
Just
like
there.
just Michael Schenker and just like
There's just a shrine.
Michael
Worship
Schenker
shrine.
shit on display and basically you come here and you pay your respects to Mr. Schenker,
Schenker.
basically.
Okay.
But so UFO, they kind of peaked at this point.
Yeah.
Like they're arguably their best album is Lights Out, and then they put out this album shortly after, and then it was almost right after I think this came out that Michael Schenker quit. And he went to rejoin the Scorpions, but he was in the Scorpions, rejoined them for like a fucking
month.
2 weeks, if or a month
Yeah.
or whatever, and then they had hired what's his face
Matthias Jabs, and then they had to dump him because
right, because sorry Matthias, Michael wants to rejoin the band, so Michael rejoins the band, and then a month later he's like, I've decided I'm not going to be in Scorpions any longer, and they're like, Matthias,
Can you come back?
We were
We're
kidding.
sorry.
We were just kidding. Can
and
you
they,
come back?
they need to thank their lucky fucking stars that he came back.
Yeah, those scorpion's tails were right between their legs.
Because Matthias is no fucking joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they needed his ass for the 80s.
Well, and he ushered in that
That era.
new-
But yeah, not to digress too much. I get what you're saying, and once Schenker left, honestly they lost their way after that.
Number 3. Queen Live Killers. Queen Live Killers. Because Queen. I mean,
Yeah.
what are you gonna say? Freddie sounds bad on that record? He doesn't. He sounds fucking badass is what he sounds. But yeah, Queen Live Killers. And actually, I think that's the best version of Love of My Life. That live version of that,
Ooh,
I think
yeah.
is way better than the one on the album. Yeah. Number 2... Merely at number 2. Ramones with It's Alive. Yeah. Now, Tommy, there was a little text between us about a month or so ago.
Yes.
And Tommy said, he said he knew what was going to be his number 1. Nothing else could be it. And I immediately thought of my number 1, and I was like, oh, yeah. And then I was like, yeah, totally, you and me both. And then I went, ding. Oh, wait a minute, no. I know what one he's talking about. And maybe you guys will find out which one he's talking about. Anyway, my number 1. My number 1. Judas Priest with Unleashed in the East.
studio.
Oh, yeah. Fuck,
Unleashed
yeah.
in the recording studio.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, the minute Tommy said it, I was like, well, naturally he's talking about Unleashed in the East. What the fuck else? Oh, wait. Ding. Oh, wait.
Oops.
So, yeah, I mean, Unleashed in the East. I mean, that's a perfect example of a record that, as doctored up as it is, like, it has the mojo.
It does. It definitely
does. Like Kiss Alive, it does
what it says.
what it came to do.
Oh my god, the version of fucking Diamonds and Rust on that album.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Exciter.
Oh.
I mean, of course, the first versions of most of those songs that I heard were on that album. So when I first heard Stained Glass and I heard Exciter, I was like, it's kind of like Strutter on the first Kiss album. It's like, oh, it's a little underwhelming compared to... I've since grown to really love that version, but at first it seemed pretty weak after that. Yeah. But, yeah, Unleashed in the East. There you go.
All right.
All right.
79 commercials coming up.
The mood is set. Mwah. The lights are low. Where's the best place to buy a great stereo?
Corvettes has more of what you're looking for.
At Corvettes, you'll find more than just a couple of famous brand stereos. We've got lots, including the newest by Panasonic, Fisher, and Pioneer. You'll find the newest radios, too, from portables to digital clock radios, plus a whole host of tape recorders.
And look at these low Corvettes prices. What's the team? What's the score? I need a new TV set. What's the best store?
Corvettes has more of what you're looking for.
There's more in store for you at Corvettes. From Panasonic's battery portable TV to Sony's new electronic tuning, plus the latest videotape recorders.
And look at Corvette's low prices.
So for great values on the latest in home entertainment,
Corvettes has more of what you're looking for. There's more in store for you at Corvettes.
All right, we're back.
We're back.
So Tommy, you
It's
wouldn't happen
Tommy's
to have a
turn.
list, would you?
It's Thomas' turn.
Tommy time.
Well, I do. Before I read off my list, I have a mention. Only a mention.
Okay. Well,
And you know what? The color of the shirt you're wearing kind of ties in with my mention, Mr. Red Rocker going on over here. We've got. Sorry, I had to do you dirty. It's merely a mention, and that is Sammy Hagar with All Night Long. And like I always do, I've got a little write-up as to explain why I
okay. Yes. You need to explain this.
Explain.
I explain. So I wrote, I sometimes get the impression that in the late 70s and early 80s, Sammy Hagar was just out there doing his thing regardless of whether or not it was any good or anyone even wanted him to do it. And what I mean is, like,
Yeah.
I feel like, I fuck with Van Hagar, and there's a couple of things he did with Montrose when he was starting out that was good, but like his solo career, his solo output in the late 70s and early 80s, I feel like the question I ask is, look, who was this even for? How is this a sustainable career? Like, it's just so mid-grade, like, I just can't find myself giving a fuck.
Yeah.
Like-
Well, I mean, yeah.
It was a time period where guys like him could float because he had success, he was still good, and he could open for bigger bands, do a summer shed tour on his own or whatever, and maintain a career until whatever happened next. What happened next? Van Halen.
What? I don't think anything happened. After
Nothing
that.
happened after that. Yeah,
Oh,
but
according to you, nothing
happened after that.
Yeah, but he's not A, he's not B, he's like maybe between a B- and a C. Live act performer, people respected him.
But he's out there
he could
touring
play,
constantly and
keeping his face out there, and he could do that.
it's
at that
just
time.
it just
Because despite all the metal and hard rock that was going on, people still needed more, and it's
there was room for tons of shit like this
That.
basically
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
It's just, I guess I'm looking at it not in proper context at the time. I'm looking at it like, a money motor quarterbacking this whole thing, and I look at it and it's like, I don't understand how this guy managed to put out albums for 10 fucking years before he got into Van Halen.
Yeah.
Well, there was a lot of that in the 70s of these artists who. I think about REO Speedwagon. Those guys put out like fucking 8 or 9 albums before they had a hit.
Right.
And they went out on tours and people went to see
all the
them.
time. They
It
were
was the
great.
same thing. And there were a lot of artists like that. And the labels just believed in them and just kept nurturing them until they finally got there.
Or sometimes they didn't, actually.
Sometimes they didn't.
I think of this band Stars. I
Yeah.
have all 4 of their albums. They have a couple of songs I like, but most of their material is basically, unfortunately, Sammy Hagar, mid-grade level. It's rock. Here you go. You like rock music, right? This is rock
some
music.
rock music.
rock
for you.
music. Yeah.
And they did 4 records and then they were done, I guess, because they never got their
No
big
X
hit
Factor.
single.
No X Factor.
No X Factor.
Yeah.
Well, that's my mention.
Their
so.
songs also aren't great. We're talking about UFO. UFO has way better songs.
Oh yeah.
There's that.
Yeah, there's also other factors at play here. The right marketing, getting exposed to the right markets at the right period of time. Mm-hmm. There's a number of things that could prevent you from really having a smash.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah, let's move on to my actual top 5 for 1979. My number 5 actually surprised the shit out of me. I would have been certain that this would have been an album that I would have put in my No Boy list.
Oh.
But, because generally I'm not a fan of this guy's work, but that would be Live Rust by Neil Young and Crazy Horse. I gave it a listen. I always try to give everything a fair shake, regardless of what list I think it's going to go on. And I gave this thing a listen through, expecting me to just want to shit all over it. I was mentally writing my blurb, I was already mentally writing. Learn to tune your fucking guitar, asshole. That amp sounds broken. I can hear it. Why can't you?
Yeah.
And you know what? It's actually a pretty good fucking live album.
It's good.
It's good. I'm not going to go buy it. I'm not going to listen to it and groove to it.
Not gonna no grooving.
I'm not going to groove to
No
it. But
grooving.
I took a listen through, and I'm like, if you fuck with Neil Young, you would probably love this. It's actually really solid. The performances are good.
Yeah.
And it kind of gives you everything. He gives you the acoustic stuff, and then he comes in with
Yeah.
the band, and
Yeah.
it isn't all one thing. It's like
Yeah, it's a really good cross section of where he was at. My number 4, we have UFO with Strangers in the Night.
No.
I didn't see that coming at all.
What?
Absolutely not from a mile away.
No,
Hard to
no.
believe.
My number 3. I'll move on because we already talked about UFO. My number 3, we've got Queen with Live Killers.
Ah, yes.
Was that where you had it on your list too?
I don't remember. Let's find
I
out.
think you had UFO
Number
at
3.
number
I have
4.
number 3.
And you had UFO at number 3.
Yeah, you 4 and 3.
No, UFO at number 4, Queen at number 3, yeah. But here's where you fucked up.
Oh no, I'm pretty sure I didn't fuck this
Oh,
up.
you definitely fucked this up.
Oh, God.
So my number 2, Judas Priest, Unleashing the East.
Oh no, I didn't fuck that up. I had it at number 1.
No, you definitely fucked up. And here's why you fucked up. Because my number 1 is the Ramones with It's Alive. It's Alive. Holy shit.
Yeah.
If there was ever going to be a live album that would make me say I love live albums, it would be this live album. They were so on fucking fire at this point in time. And you know what's really badass about this album is you get the kick in the pants energy of a live performance from the Ramones,
Yeah.
where the songs are a little faster and really energetic, blah 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 blah. But this is the point in time in their career where they weren't like, they didn't lose a bet with somebody and they weren't required to play the songs at quadruple speed.
Yeah.
Because I've heard later Ramones live releases like Loco Live from like the 90s. Jesus Christ. It's approaching parody.
Yeah.
It's like it's approaching the level of Elvis Presley. Like fucking you know how to you know, the Ramones Loco Live at that point in time they're like
Yeah, well,
like,
and
what are you
he always
doing?
started growling and
Yeah, it's not Blitzkrieg, but it's
yeah.
It's but on It's Alive, it's like, wow, no, this is the real fucking Ramones.
Well, it's like, I forget which album you were talking about earlier, where you said that it's the exact right time
Yes.
for this album.
Yes, this is absolutely the right point in time.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, even though this came out in 79, this was recorded, I believe, in 77.
Yeah, it's a
so they still have
77
Tommy
show.
on drums.
Yeah,
Yeah. This is the original lineup.
yeah.
Now, no shade against Marky as a drummer. Probably some shade against Marky as a human being. No shade against him as a drummer. And he was great in the Ramones. But this is the original lineup with
Yeah.
Tommy on drums. And that's fucking awesome. So, yeah. A fantastic album. If you haven't heard it, you really got to get on it.
Especially if you never saw them, you definitely have to get on it.
Yeah.
Very true.
All right.
So that's a me.
That's a you.
All right. All right. Well, we got some messages for you.
Hey, Gus, you special enough to skate with us? I'm an all-star skater. There's nobody greater. I score every game, but being a Pepper's my fame. All right, we're Peppers too. I'm a Pepper, he's a Pepper, we're a Pepper, she's a Pepper. Would you like to be a Pepper too? Us Peppers are an interesting breed. An original taste is what we need. Ask any Pepper and they'll say, only Dr. Pepper did that way. I'm a Pepper, she's a Pepper, we're a Pepper, he's a Pepper.
It's all right to be dynamite, but to be a Pepper is out of sight.
Would you like to be a Pepper too? We're a Pepper, he's a Pepper. Yabba dabba doo, I'm a Pepper too. If you drink Dr. Pepper, you're a Pepper too. Be a Pepper, drink Dr. Pepper. Be a Pepper, drink Dr. Pepper. Be a Pepper, drink Dr. Pepper. Be a Pepper.
Time for spring projects. Those jobs you put off till spring. Never put things off myself. When something needs fixing, I fix it. Ow. Now it's spring project time at Our Own Stores. Lawn and garden supplies, paint, tools, everything you need, including expert help and great values. All at Our Own Stores during spring project time. Check the yellow pages for your Our Own Hardware, home center, or lumber store.
Well, all right.
Oh yeah, we're
Back.
1979.
All right, Crystal.
All right, I got a runner-up, and that is Unleashed in the East. Ow! Yeah, yeah.
But it's your number one runner-up,
It's
right?
my number one.
Yeah,
runner-up.
exactly, as it should be.
It's my number
kidding.
one
Her
runner-up.
number one runner-up, but you want to know why? It's because her top 1 through 5 is all Ramones. It's Alive.
Oh, okay.
It is.
Well, I don't think the Ramones made any jazz albums.
I don't know about all that.
Oh! But there is
Hey!
It's Alive 2. Take it from the concert on that tour.
It's Alive 2. Oh,
It's Alive
wow.
2 from the
It's Alive 2.
from the same tour, different show.
Yeah.
But it was a very limited release, like limited to like 8,000 copies on Record Store Day. Anyway, Crit
Yeah.
Anyway, it's like...
Green Manalishi, Diamonds and Rust. Yeah, it had studio overdubs, but I don't care
yeah.
because it's fucking amazing. And then my other one is The Rose. Because
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
All right, here's my list.
Ow.
I got 5 things, right? Yes, I have 5 things. Okay, coming in at number 5, I have Rust Never Sleeps, Neil Young and Crazy Horse.
Oh, that's the one that's half studio, half live, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They lowered the crowd noise in this thing
As they
and really cut loose on live Rust. And I'm not a huge Neil Young fan by any stretch of the imagination. And I'm the weird Neil Young fan who liked the Shocking Pinks. Okay? That'll tell you where my head is at. But, and people, this is a lauded live record. I mean, you know, Neil Young, live Rust, oh my God, blah. Everybody talked about it. So that's my number 5. Coming in at number 4, I have Living Proof by Sylvester.
Oh,
That
shit.
almost made my list.
I didn't know Sylvester had a live album.
It's a double album.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Child, listen.
It's actually not bad.
You Make Me Feel, Dance, Disco Heat, Can't Stop Dancing, In My Fantasy, Patti LaBelle's You Are My Friend. Oh my God. Sylvester, incredible. And even a cover of Blackbird. Remember that?
Oh, well.
Ooh.
I just didn't like that he slowed down. It's made his big hit into like a slow gospel version that was like 11 minutes long.
that.
I didn't like that. I didn't
I'm
like
black.
that as much.
I love that. Gospel, hits me where I live. All right, number 3, I have Live Killers by Queen. Ow! Yeah, number 3.
Did we all have Live Killers?
We
at
all
number
have
3?
Live
Yes, of course. To me, it showcases the songs for the stage. It's not like they're just plowing through or steamrolling or anything. It's like they're individual set pieces almost. And if you saw them live, you know what I'm talking about. So good. Oh my God. Let's see. Coming in at number 2, I have It's Alive by the Ramones.
Only number 2, huh?
Number 2.
Number 2.
Yeah.
Both of you.
Number 2, yes. Live New Year's Eve at the Rainbow in London, right before Tommy quit. 28 songs and
You shouldn't have quit.
You shouldn't have quit, Tommy.
There's a lot of drama in the band at the
I
time.
understand.
I had my reasons.
Yeah, whatever. 28 songs in 54 minutes. 28 songs in 54 minutes. What does that come out to? Like a minute and 2 seconds per song?
On average, sure, yeah.
Right? Like, yeah. And the whole bit, Joey talking about how much he loved the chicken vindaloo he ate before the show. Which is like, why are you eating that before a show?
I wouldn't think Joey Ramone would know about chicken vindaloo.
I mean, if they were
He's sung about
They were in
Vindaloo.
London?
Well, I know the lyric, but even that lyric, I always thought, oh wow, I just don't picture him eating that.
Yeah, they were in London,
He just seems
so
pretty meat
he's
and
gonna have
potatoes,
Indian food.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is gonna sound crazy. You guys probably won't believe me,
We don't believe you.
but my number 1
You sound crazy.
is the UFO record.
Oh shit!
For everything
Wow.
that I said about them, I really love this record. I really, really dig it. Like, I hadn't listened to it in 45 years or whatever it's been. And, yeah, I really got into it.
Yeah, I mean it is a good record.
Yeah, even though there's no X Factor, I forgot what Michael Schenker looked like. Nobody's standing
Mostly
out.
blonde hair and a flying V.
Another
Yeah.
white guy with long hair and a flying V.
That's all you need.
Well,
What else
You
do
just
you
need
need?
long hair and a flying V. What more do you need?
yeah, you're right. Yeah, I really love that record. So that was my number 1, UFO. And I'm going to get phone calls because people are going to be like,
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's a pretty.
did I surprise you?
You kind of did, yeah. You kind of did. After you were
Yeah.
shitting all over it like you just were.
Yeah, but you gotta remember, Paul, Crystal's whole thing is like, fuck your expectations. Right?
Yeah, well, my expectations
That's literally her
are well
middle
and truly
name.
fucked.
Her name is Crystal Fuck Your Expectations Durant.
That's
It's on her
Yeah.
driver's license. You should check it.
It is.
Shit.
It takes up a lot of space.
Yeah,
Oh.
it was worth it.
Yeah. 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 I really, did I shit on them? No. It's good.
Well,
I like it.
I expect that we got some messages coming up. Here we go.
We're gonna go Hawaiian. When you're picking a punch, pick the pick of the bunch. Come on and go Hawaiian. The 7 natural fruits, luscious luau fruits. Come on and go Hawaiian.
Hawaiian Punch Fruit Punch.
Vitamin C and 10% fruit juice.
From the pick of the bunch. And speaking of the pick of the bunch.
How'd you like a nice Hawaiian punch? You pick the pick of the bunch. Come on and go Hawaiian. Enjoy.
Na 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 na. When the sun goes down and the evening rolls around, that's the time I find got blue ribbon on my mind.
America's premium beer since 1844. Pabst. A lot to look forward to.
Okay.
Yeah, we're back with
All
the
right.
bad
Well, I guess
stuff.
it's time to start hating some 1979 albums.
I hate it.
I believe I'm hating first.
Hate away.
Hate.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah. Well. All right. Well, you know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, of course, I have to throw out my requisite Pink Lady mention live at BoothCon.
Oh my God! How many fucking live albums did they make?
Well, how many years were there?
Jesus Christ!
Well, okay, we'll multiply that by 5.
5.
Yeah.
Because they put out 2 or 3 at a time.
They put out like 3 in some years.
Shit.
But anyway, that's just mention. Okay, the worst of, and I'm probably not going to be the only one to mention this.
Mm-hmm.
Sid sings. Sid Vicious. I mean,
Yeah, come on.
Yep.
I'm not. In fact, I'm not even going to say anything else because more will be said.
Yes, it will.
On to Tommy.
Okay.
On to Tommy.
Well, I have 2. My first one would be Frank Zappa with Shake Your Booty.
Yeah.
And my write-up for that consists of, what did I wrote? I wrote, dude, whatever.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
But for my number 1, my write-up from my number 1, I just wrote, okay, discuss. But my number 1 worst live album, 1979, is Sid Sings by Simon Ferocious.
Okay, discuss.
Simon Ferocious. Wow.
Oh, do you not know the anecdote about Freddie Mercury and Sid Vicious?
Oh, you know what? I think I have heard it, but I don't remember.
So the Pistols were fucking about in the studio doing God knows what. I'm sure Sid wasn't actually recording anything.
He was nodding off in the corner.
Nodding off in the corner on heroin. But
Yeah.
Queen was also in the studio working on one of their records. I think it might have even been Jazz or maybe News of the World, one of those two.
Yeah.
And Queen obviously was very, very fucking serious in the studio. And so the Sex Pistols were giving them like a hard time and like crawling around on the studio floor trying to, interfere. And like Sid at one point comes into the studio and Freddie's trying to work on something and he's trying to intimidate Freddie Mercury. So Freddie Mercury was having none of this and just stood up and just marches towards Sid and just starts jamming his fucking finger at him like, look here, Sid, Simon Ferocious, and just fucking...
Simon Ferocious.
And Freddie grabs him by like the shirt and throws him the fuck out of the studio.
Well, that's just it. I mean, Sid Vicious, thinking he's being scary, like he was built like me. Freddie Mercury could have pretty much pounded him if he wanted to.
Well, Freddie Mercury was also not a small dude.
No, but he was short, but he was
kind of
built.
stocky
He was ripped.
and
He was a muscle queen.
Well, he was in good. He was in great shape.
He was in great shape.
Sid Vicious was not.
He's in great shape and having absolutely none of Simon Ferocious's bullshit.
Simon Ferocious.
Like the fact that he called him Simon Ferocious and then fucking physically threw him out of the goddamn control room.
Love it. Love it.
So over to you, Crystal.
Yeah, mine is basically a tie.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So we got a tie.
And that is between Sid Vicious and Frank Zappa's Shake Your Booty. So, Shake Your Booty, I wrote, he put studio overdubs on the live stuff along with sound effects, random dialogue, and farts.
So standard Zappa.
His biggest selling album, Shake Your Booty.
It's got Dancing Fool on
Yeah,
it.
it's Dancing Fool.
Yeah.
Dancing Fool.
Is this the one that has Punky's whips?
I'm not sure about
Where
that.
he's making fun of the Punky Meadows from Angel.
Oh, maybe.
Saying he looks like a girl or something
Something
shit.
like
Possibly.
that. Oh,
It's nothing but juvenile fucking childish
It's so
bullshit from
ridiculous.
start to
That's
finish.
the problem. That's the problem.
And Dancing Fool, I remember that was released as a 45.
Good lord.
Yeah, because kids were playing it in school. I don't know why. But, yeah.
But it's not even funny. And it's like you see him on... He did that on Saturday Night Live.
Mm-hmm.
And he's standing there with the smoke look on his Dancing Fool. Like with this look on his face. Like he's so hilarious. And it's like... It's not funny. Actually, it's
really,
just
it's
not
actually
funny.
not. It's really
It's
not.
not funny.
He's just so up his own fucking ass.
Yeah.
that he's like lost any self-awareness.
Yeah, and I know what he's on about because of the whole disco craze, and you kind of seeing this, what you sort of perceive as this sort of mindless worshipping of this sort of dumbed down musical genre, and everybody's like running like cattle towards it, and that's what he's trying to say.
Sure, but maybe he could have done it with better music.
He was smart enough to say it in at least more of a funny way.
Yeah.
You know.
But he didn't give a fuck. It's Frank Zappa. He didn't give a shit.
Whatever. Fucking guy.
Well, anyway.
And as far as Sid goes, just...
Yeah.
You know, Sid. Yeah. You said discuss. What's there to discuss? What is there
sings.
to discuss?
Perhaps he shouldn't have. Oh!
Oh!
Sid sings. Why didn't they put it on the record?
Sid sings more like Sid shits.
All right. We'll be right back after these messages.
Tomorrow on 2020, Michael Jackson, a star at 10 and a superstar at 19. How does he keep his head straight in an unreal world? Plus, an update on Elvis's death. Is there a cover-up? And millions of fans await the arrival of the Enterprise. Tomorrow on 2020.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We are done with 1979.
Live, yeah.
Yeah, live albums. We have 2 more live albums videos coming up. But, yeah, until then, maybe you might want to consider subscribing if you haven't. But if you do, click the little bell. Notifications. Yeah, see? But next week, we are going to be doing our favorite live albums of the 60s. The whole decade. I mean, you know, we could have gone year by year with the... But it would have been like, okay, every... Tony Bennett and, you know, Art Blakey album, and you know what I mean, you know.
AKA Tommy would have jumped out of the window.
Yeah. How do you choose just one of the 50 Art Blakey albums from each year?
Well...
How does one do that?
I'll tell you later.
But yeah, so we're doing it as one episode for the 70s, and then we're going to follow that up with the 80s, and we'll come back next week and see how it goes.
Yes.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Good night! Yeah! Because we're live, get it?
Yeah, get it.
We'll touch that up in the studio.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. What's so funny?
We're doing 70. Yeah, we're doing 79. I should be able to tell by the way I'm dressed. We're doing 79.
Hello.
Could I be wrong?
Yeah. All right.
I love that song.
It's so... I don't care who's even covering it.
It doesn't
Every
matter.
version is good.
It's a great song.
I don't know even song it was.
Since you've been gone.
Oh.
Since you've been gone. But since you've been gone.
I don't know the words.
Not doing a very good job of it.
I don't know the words. Yeah.
You barely know the song, apparently.
Since you've been gone. Since you've been gone. Blah, 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 can't take it.
Yeah, I don't know the words.
Since you've been gone.
But since you've been gone, you cast a spell so very
I do have the album down there, though.
Oh.
The something on Earth album or whatever.
Down to Earth.
I have it. It's down there.
But I also have the Russ Ballard album with it. I also have the Sherry and Marie Curry album with it.
Which has that song.
I also have the Impellitteri album with it.
Who? What?
From the late 80s.
Impellitteri.
Shred metal band Impellitteri with Graham Bonnet on vocals.
Wow.
Yeah. I've not heard a bad version of that song.
You just did. You just
Clout,
fucking did.
That South African all-female band Clout that did Substitute. They do a cover
they do that
of Since You've Been Gone. It's also awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a great song.
Wow.
Check it out, people.
Excuse you. My God.
Ow.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Well, all right.